Hello, everybody. We are back here with the second map of this best of three. It's SJSU Savages against the USC Trojans here. SJSU winning that last map on cash 16-5. But let's see if USC's got something up their sleeve. Can they get some momentum going here early? That's really it's really up to them and what they want to do here coming into this pistol. And let's see what they're going to buy. They've got some smokes, 2 smokes, a couple flashes coming in. Or excuse me, 3 smokes and a couple sets of armor. It looks like it's going to be an A hit, preliminarily from what I'm seeing.
No kits on the CT side. Once again, we saw that on cash as well for SJSU. But we have 3 smokes, 2 flashes, and a molly. I'm actually going to zoom above the site and see where these smokes are going to be landing, but CT player playing pretty passive in CT spawn. This is a good angle because if he gets smoked off, Kirby picking up the first frag into ISO. 4v5 so far as the T's do pour into the A bomb site. They have some good smokes. They're going to push into CT spawn. This is a perfect strat for the T side. If they can take CT control, they should be able to pick up this round. Oh no! Everything falls apart as they go into the CT site, or CT spawn, rather. One person left alive for the T side. But man, if they could take CT spawn, like that's like the big strat, is that if you go into CT spawn and you take that, then you have a lot of control of the map. You have a lot of control of that A bomb site, but they just couldn't quite get the kill into that one player sitting in the corner, Ricky. And eventually he goes down because of the molly, but I thought that looked pretty good, man. It was just like a little bit of a roller coaster. I was like, that looks good, oh no. And then it didn't happen. But maybe they'll force up.
That's really the question. Do you force up Armor Tech 9? Do you try to take up some close fights here? And I think they're actually just going to go ahead and not. They're going to go ahead and just go for the next round buy. And I think, I think that they should. I think at this point, they might as well go ahead and cut their losses now. But one thing I want to note here on a B rush, if you're doing a B rush, you all 5 have to be together if you're actually going to go in on this kind of a round like this. But let's see if they can prove me wrong here. Kirby going in with his MP9, just working hard for those frags. He isn't going to get 2. And now the CTs are very aware of what's going on here. I like how CW just starts spraying coming out of that door. Gets 2. And the round's over. So it didn't work. I mean, and that's the thing I'm talking about. And I know I'm not necessarily, a super analyst, guy. I'm a play-by-play guy. But that being said, like, you look at how on a B rush in apartments, you have a huge choke point. And if you send people in 3, 2, 1, 4 at a time, you need to send all 5 on something like that, because if you don't, you can't effectively trade even potentially get the bomb down.
You should never look at, nobody should ever look at themselves and say, I'm not super analytical. Like, that should never be the case. You should always ask questions. When it comes to Counter-Strike, that's the big thing. You ask questions, you look at it yourself, you analyze it and say, is this right or wrong? I think there's a huge misconception in like the North American scene where everyone's like, oh, this person has more experience than I do, so they must be right. That's not the case at all. Like, you just need to look at things and have your own judgment, and have somebody, you need to present 2 arguments. Have like a nice, mature argument and say, I think this, well, what about this? You know what I mean? Like, there's never just black and white. It's Counter-Strike, man. Right. So don't ever count yourself out, man. But, I mean, as I'm chatting, being like a weirdo over here, the T's, though, they just take this bomb site. They haven't taken anything, really. They just took mid control, and the CTs are down to 30 HP and 4 HP. But as this is not really much that's going to go on here. So let me finish my thought, and I apologize for going into the gun round and not calling all the play-by-play action. But, no, man, like, the biggest thing is that if you want to build a team in Counter-Strike, you need to find players who don't have huge ecos, who will listen, who are mature, and they can actually have good arguments so that you can progress as a team. You might pick somebody up who has, well, say, for other terms, global elite, right? Like, if they have the global elite rank, then they might be good at aiming. But that's not what's going to take you to the next step. You might find somebody who already hit their cap, you know what I mean? You might find somebody who's not as good as, say, player A is better than player B, but player B can progress more. You need to make sure that player B can actually have like a conversation with you and work with you as a team and say, what about this strat? Well, why didn't it work? You know what I mean? There's so many other things outside of the game that people need to look at in NACS and say, this guy might frag, but realistically, how far can we go with them? You know what I mean? So that's my rant.
Yeah, completely valid. And obviously, I mean, yeah, I've casted, I've casted for a while and definitely not count myself out. But, that being said, I mean, really, you're right. I mean, you shouldn't doubt yourself. I shouldn't have doubted myself there in that call. But that being said, you look at the big picture there. USC coming back and responding well, at least, and getting around. And that's going to help them out quite a bit. Although Hex won't be able to get an off. He's still going to have that scout. And the question is, where are they going to go? Because SJSU is going to be able to buy, and this is where they need to start right now. USC needs to say, I'm throwing the hammer down. I'm tired of it. Let's do this. And this is where they need to come into this entire game and bring this thing back. This is the turn, I think, right now on this map. They need to make it work, but there's Antoine jumping up inside of that Mirage mid area in window, making it happen. But there's Maki, the dink coming in from Kirby, but it wasn't going to kill him because it was an M4. So he does survive with 9 health and gets away, and that's actually not ideal, but it's better than nothing. So now they're in a 4v4, and they need to send Maki in the first person, whichever site they go to, they need to send him in first because he has less health. And if they can send him in first and get some information, potentially trade off of that, you know, they might be able to make it into a situation for somebody getting a 2v1. But right now, they're so spread out with the bomb down in side hall. They're going to be hard-pressed to be able to win this round if they don't find something quick.
And they have a minute left. So they do have a little bit of time, but you're right. They need to make some progression here. We do have one person sitting underpass. But they're just going to go towards the B bomb site, possibly. Siren, maybe he'll lead the way. Where's Maki sitting at? He's actually going to fake towards the A bomb site with very low HP, so maybe he can pull one of the CT players off. This might help out as they do walk towards the B bomb site. I like this play coming out of USC.
He actually throws some stuff in there. He's going to go ahead and run away. This is going to force a little bit of a shift from SJSU, and they're going to get into the B site. They're actually going to get in there and make it work. Kang's going to be able to get this plant. Siren, nice frag on Antoine. There's the op out of their hands, but AZN is going to pick that up. I've just spot 2, I believe. We did see 1. But look at this. SJSU coming in here. So aggressive. Oh! It's down to Maki in a 1v3 with 9 HP, and this is where that headshot comes into play here. Not planted for him. And they are going to lose the round. So USC, a good attempt at a fake. Really like to see that. It was good to see, but they get in the site and plant it. They're just not able to win the round. They lose the duels.
And good decision making from USC. They faked over towards A and pulled one of the guys off Cat, who's playing in the B bomb site. As he went towards Cat, they took the bomb site, got the bomb down, but it's just that post plant. Beautiful retake from SJSU. Coming in, picking up the frags. Maki with a little HP on Cat, looking for that 1v1, but it's not going to happen when the CTs retake as well as they did. So, Antoine looking for the mid pick once again. Just have that op control, but look at how little utility USC has used to take mid control so far. They do smoke off mid window, but now they have to worry about Magnus.
Yeah, they're handing them mid on a silver platter here, and I disagree with that 100%. Why would you do this? I mean, in a situation on Mirage, it's such a, you know, I mean, they won this last round because they got, you know, it was Antoine who got that pick. He jumped up and got that pick. And now they're in a situation where they just give it up, but it doesn't really matter because AZN's able to find the first frag. So nice job for him inside of towards connector area. But this still has the terrorists and with mid control, and you've seen a little bit of new meta shift here is now sometimes people play outside a window, but Antoine getting aggressive. You see the boost from Maki. Nice, so Maki actually could find Antoine if Antoine decides to peek. I'm actually looking at this right now, trying to figure out that he's not going to see him. They're just going to wait this thing out, and USC playing patient. They're down a man. I like to see this, but now they've got to get the bomb there. Hex is going to have to go collect that. And try to be able to get that bomb to be able to do something, but they need to win an aim duel or they need to get into a site, but they're actually just trying to work into A pretty quick now. Actually, the bomb not even ready yet. Kang making some noise, forcing fire coming out here.
They're so spread apart, though, with 25 seconds left. Like, the T's are so spread apart.
Yeah, well, now it looks like they're going to for sure hit A. Here they come. Kang going to peek in this for 1. He's not going to account for Antoine to be there. Antoine actually missing that shot. And now he's got 2 targets to pick. He does pick 1. He does get 1 at least. So now 4v3 retake here coming in here. Kirby actually shooting at the wall there. There's ISO with 1. Looking for more. Goes to the spray, gets another one. That's down to Hex and Maki in a 2v1 situation here. Magnus has done some sick stuff in the last map on Cash. Can he do it right now? Magnus coming in here. Does know where I think where the op is. He is going to go ahead and get spotted from Tetris. And this is a bad spot for him to be in, though. He is going to go ahead and go for that spray and goes down. So USC late to the party, but they get it done. Hex a 2K on the round. ISO at the 2K as well. But good round by USC coming in.
These boys are showing that they can aim, man. They took a 4v5 scenario, and they're actually able to take the A bomb site. I was a little bit worried there that they weren't grouped enough together, but they took the A bomb site, got the frag that they needed, and then they hard reset the money for SJSU. So far, USC has been winning these aim duels. and they're outthinking their opponents. So this is what I'm talking about. Mirage is one of those type of maps where you can slow things down as a T side and really get into the whole methodical portion of it. You don't need to do things quickly. So I like the fact that USC, they're showing that these guys can contend with SJSU. Siren picking up a kill on Damon. Antoine, did we confirm it? It's probably Antoine. I'm gonna call him Antoine. I like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything that tells me otherwise, so I haven't called him Antoine. But yeah,
Seems legit for me. I don't know why I would name Antoine. So Antoine sounds good. But anyway, Magnus gets tagged down to 19 HP, Maki down to 26, but CT. So they did force up 2 guns. So far though, USC has been looking pretty dominant on their gun rounds.
That's good to see. Actually, they're coming in here. They're getting mid controlled, smoking things, and getting things done. And now they've got the CT's in a 4v5 actually, and so now SJSU has to find a way to make something work here. Siren actually, will he get spotted out? He is going to get spotted out and go down to that CZ. Jumping CZ around. That would have been insane if he would have got that frag. But there he is, gets a gun. But there's Hex coming in with that USP frag in the head, and now they know where the bomb's going. It's going towards A Hex. Good stuff in that last round. Can he cut off this rotation right now? Magnus would peek into this, gets him. And Hex actually playing really solid, gets another frag, and USC ties this thing up.
It's very, very important for USC to win that round with 4 players left alive, even with SJSU forcing. I like the force from SJSU because they recognize that if they won, they would reset the money for USC. But USC now, 7K for Hex. Let's see what they decide to do. I'd like a nice slow strat coming out of USC. Maybe some fast aggression coming out of the CT side. Looks like they're going to split up 3 towards A. No flashes, though. So just USPs, 2 250s, nothing else for SJSU. So this should be an easy round for USC. But as a CT side, you just want to do as much economical damage as you can. Get some of the AKs out of these guys' hands. Maybe pick one up for themselves. Nice and slow from the T side. This is what I like to see.
Yeah, and SJSU actually, I do have to say something here. They not this round particularly because, you know, they do a 4-man stack towards A, but, you know, they're giving mid control up so easy, right? They are just forfeiting it. And I don't think on Mirage you can afford to do that as a CT, right? I mean, you cannot just give them, give USC, you know, it on a silver platter. I mean, I can see this round making sense. But here comes a grenade coming in from USC, and they're trying to figure out what's going on here. And they're actually don't really have a ton of information, but they are going to go ahead and pick B site. They get the pick. They've got some people in the site to be able to open it up. And it should be a quick plant. And it should be the round for USC as the plant for Cat comes in. But they don't have anybody at Cat yet. They do have one that is underpass. So they actually played it for Cat. Don't have anybody there. They're going to move King at Arches there. Maki, a jumping AK spray. Nice job there up close, Hex. And this round's all but pretty much over here for SJSU. They're going to have to come back, and I think really to counter this, to counter what they're doing here, they need to start contesting. They need to have him there.
Absolutely, I completely agree. You mentioned mid control, and I was thinking to myself, what's the easiest way to contest the mid control if USC is not using a bunch of smokes to start things off? So grab the op, go window, go cat. I mean, there's different options that you have with the op. You can go cat, you can get boosted cat, you can go window, I mean, you can go connector. There's a lot of places that you can go to get the pick. But the question is, if you don't have money, do you want to forfeit another round? So if you're sitting at 4K per player, and that's what they're going to do. I think that maybe they've heard you. They've heard you, Awesome Sauce. They said, you know, we do need the op. So they're going to pick up just pistols and armor here. They're going to save for the op next round, and maybe they recognize that they need to take control of mid. You can do it with rifles, but if you're forced to do it with rifles, then you need to get aggressive on them. But T side, they're going to be able to read that the CTs are on an eco here. They're spread apart once again. Kang, beautiful headshot into C-dub. So starting this round at 4v5, and I think Kang's going to recognize this guy only had a pistol, so maybe they're on another save.
Yeah, and it's a very valid point that you made there. So that's going to put USC up 5-3 if they can win this round. They've only got Ricky on that site. They need to come in here. They are going to go ahead and set up this execute here on the A side. They're going to throw all the standard smokes that they need to do. And I love the A execute stuff because it's just so fun to watch. Here they go. Hex throwing the smoke, trying to cut off all these angles there. Maki throwing the fire to cut off jungle. This is good. I like to see this coordination coming in here. They're wasting a lot of utility, though, against pistols. I'm not so sure about this. They didn't check. There it is. So Kang caught him out there in Firebox. So they are going to get him. and it's down to a 3v5 for SJSU, and I really don't think they're going to be able to do much. And as I say that, Antoine says, I got this P250, guys. I want a frag. And Kirby says, you know what? I'm going to get one, too. Antoine goes down, though, so Kirby is going to pick up this AK. They're actually going for this. This is, I guess, understandable considering the money that they've had to put into this. They're going to pick up an AK Magnus. Picking up an AK as well. Getting one is going to go down, so making it expensive on USC as they drop 3 players. And SJSU didn't even really put anything into the round. I mean, fantastic job with the P250s.
Yep, and just chip away slowly. Just chip away, right? Like, there's battles that you can win in Counter-Strike that don't necessarily give you the round. If you can do economical damage to the other team, that can win you rounds later on or make rounds easier for you later on. So, we do have the op from Antoine. Let's see where he's going to go for the pick. Looks like he's going to go towards Connector.
Okay.
And if the T's don't use too much utility... Oh, he just saw him.
Oh, Antoine.
That's too bad. That's okay. I mean, he can reset though, right? Like, move that op around. Keep moving it. Keep moving it. I think that he needs to get out of Connector because they recognize that the op is there. Maybe go towards window, have one of his teammates in A site say, flash over. And then they can go for a pick there. I think that he needs to continue to use his feet and get out of there.
Yeah, cause you can throw, you're right, because you can throw that flash over, you know, from Connector. You can throw it over that wall high, and if you're able to get that flash to land pretty good, you can actually catch out one of those oppers on the corner. So, but they don't actually have to do that because AZ is going to actually get a frag at A lower. So they do have mid control again, and that's okay. I mean, they're up in a they're actually top. They're tied to 4v4 here as far as the player count, and they just have to be careful here. AZN working his thing over here at the B side at the moment. But yeah, very, very valid point coming in here, and at least both sides have an op, too.
On T side, they don't have much utility, though. So ISO's going to get aggressive all by himself. Hex lagging behind just a little bit. They can get the entry into this B bomb site. This player's going to have to come up huge. C-Dub, you need to get at least 2 frags for your teammates to pick this up. Magnus gets a kill in the Hex. And there's the kill from Siren. Double kill for Siren, actually, under Magnus and C-Dub. 2v3 situation now. CTs have to retake the bomb site. Maki looking to pick up that bomb. He's going to plant it for Cat. ISO picks up the frag with the op on Antoine. It's all down to Ricky here. I think in this scenario, if you're down this many rounds, I think you need to go for it.
Ricky at a 1v3. You know, this would be insane if he's able to do this. This is going to be almost impossible. He does fall. Maki gets him, though. Good round by USC. You know, really just a totally different team than we saw in Cash.
Absolutely. They're winning the aim duels, man. We mentioned this, right? Like, they're not coming up with... I don't think I've seen a smoke strat A, really. It's just the aim duels. So USC, maybe they just needed a little bit of, you know, some caffeine to wake up a little bit. Was it their player who was napping for half the first match, or what? He's like, yeah. I'm late. Let's go get him out of his dorm room.
Yeah. Got to get him out and get him ready to go. So here it is, USC up 6-3, and I think they have, you know, a decent amount of rounds. I mean, I consider Mirage to be, you know, a 10-5 CT-sided map, maybe a 9-6. I think 6 rounds, though, you're doing pretty well. Anything they add now is just icing on the cake. Hex opening up there with that off. They're going to walk into this. Maki a spray, make that. Only one, as Hex was able to get more, so can't really get too excited about that, as it was just a mop-up at mid. So USC up 7-3, and this is just icing on the cake for them, as I said. Also, make sure everybody check out bountyarena.com today. Use AVG. That's AVG to get $2 free instantly to play with. So make sure to check out bountyarena.com. Spelt just the way that I said. Use AVG for $2 for free. But yeah, USC again coming into this, and here comes Antoine with an op. Where's he at?
Ooh, misses a shot again, mid-window. That's okay. So he's seeing the opportunities, he's just not quite landing the shot. He saw the guy last round, or 2 rounds ago, sorry, from Connector up towards the top of mid, didn't land that shot. Now he's window, couldn't land the next shot, so maybe who the secondary opera is, maybe you swing things around, right? You say, hey, I'm not really feeling it today. Can someone else take this and get the picks that we need towards mid? But he does move out a window, which I like. He's not tagged or anything, but he's looking at a different perspective as to where he can get a pick. And I do like this. But let's see where he moves around. Things are going pretty slow for the T side thus far. I think that that's perfectly fine. So Hex looking towards Connector just in case Antoine does get aggressive. Minute left. T side has 4 smokes, plenty of flashes, and a little bit of utility, but as does the CT side. Let's see where they're going to decide to go. 5 players left alive for both teams. Not a whole lot going on this far, man. Let's see if Antoine moving around. He's not. He's stuck in mud, dude. He's got concrete on his feet.
Yeah,
he's just chilling.
He's not moving.
He's not. He's a turret.
But it's
he's
good to see. it's good to see him alive here. I mean, this is important because if you have him down, I mean, he is an impact guy, with that op. But Hex, again, on the T side of USC, 11 frags so far. Antoine's going to get flashed. If he peeks into that, okay, they are going to do the smoke strat. So USC actually doing smoke strat, coming to the A side here. Siren gets one, and they're walking into the site now. As they do have the smokes down, but the smokes aren't walls. As we've heard famously said by many people, Antoine is shot through the box, a headshot, Kirby, and it's a 3v3 situation here for USC. And actually, they are winning these duels here, and now it's all down to this. Antoine and Kirby here. They need this round bad. And USC going down there on that. And Antoine here trying to work his way in here. They are spotting these players. But Antoine is in a bad spot here in a 1v2. He does have an op, 37 health. Can he do it? We've had some good stuff happening here from Maki in this site. Look at this. Antoine just doesn't want to give up, and he is going to pay with his life and drop that op out. So look at this coming in here. USC winning 6 rounds in a row. Or excuse me, make that 7. Okay, they've won 7 rounds in a row. Max loss bonus coming in. SJSU forced to save now. Maybe buy some armor pistols and armor 5.7s, maybe some RPG 50s, but other than that, they don't have much to work with here. USC running away economically and momentum-wise in this map.
It was a solid run for USC. Play regular default, push the CTs back, don't give them too much map control, and after that, hit them with the A execute, and that was perfect. Siren coming up with huge frags on TT spawn, tagging a third player down to probably about 20 HP or so. Siren's come up big the last 2 times they've had gun rounds. This guy's carrying them so far. Not carrying, but definitely an impact player thus far. 8-3 in favor of USC. And like you've mentioned already, USC completely turned around from what they were looking like on cash.
And I'm really happy to see this for them. These guys, both these teams, really happy to be in this semifinal upper bracket here, this $5,000 tournament, and it's really good to see both these teams fighting so hard for this here. As Antoine's going to spot one in mid. He's going to have to fall back with that B250. And he's the only one on the CTs that doesn't have armor at this point. But, yeah, USC, I mean, if they, they should win this round. So this would put them up 9-3. And then SJSU has to win that round. Because if they don't, they're going to be really not having that much money again. And it's just going to be a cycle of that next round. Can they win it? If they can't, they don't have a lot of money to buy. And it's just going to put them in a bad spot. And one thing we haven't seen them do for SJSU, is they haven't bought armor P90s. They haven't played super up close. We haven't seen them pull out, Mag 7s or anything like that up close. That's possible they could do that. But this round going very slow. But here comes Hex. The op entry. This is a little bit interesting here. But they are going to go ahead and force their way into here. And he is going to go down because Magnus is boosted up on the box. There's Antoine. They're spotting a couple of those players in the site. So Magnus getting one. Better than nothing. But the bomb goes down for Cat. And that's going to be a pretty good situation here. Unless Siren somehow misses these shots. And he does actually get taken out.
Ooh, he ISO'd on 17 HP as well.
They're just going all in for it. They don't care. They just want to make this happen right now. Antoine. Fighting. Doesn't have armor, though. This is kind of bad for him. He's in a bad spot. Looking for this to make this work. And just chaos ensuing. And USC wins this with 5 health and 3 health, respectively.
I think he dinked him through the bench, because I just saw, ISO's gun just go bloop. And, he just got dinked. That was almost good, man. That was surprising pistols from the CT side. But, okay, so this is how you break things down as far as, if they're taking mid control and you're not getting op frags, you can fall back. You don't have to contest mid. If that's not working for you, that's fine. But what you need to do is get aggressive on the ends of the map, right? So have a teammate set up a flash for you. Ricky, get up there. And there we go, Antoine, getting that pick. But then he gets picked again. You're too aggressive. You got the pick. Don't get overexcited. Play the 4v5. It's perfectly fine to get the first entry. But as I was saying, have one of your players in A. You have 2 people in A. One person get close to lower. Flash in lower, flash in apartments, do something aggressive on other ends of the map. If you're going to give up mid control, you need to take other control points from other portions of the map. So whether it's B, whether it's underpass, whether it's halls, you can't just give up everything.
Oh, yeah, and map control is so important in the game of Counter-Strike, and I'm sure all of you out there are aware of how important it is. USC up 9-3 here, and this is a monstrous half for them, regardless of what happens. 9 rounds on the T side of Mirage is something to say that you've done well on, especially against this SJSU team who smoked them in the first match. So it's good to see this from this team coming in here. And so we've got USC up 9-3, and it's a 4v4 right now. King trying to spot out one of these players playing closer to A. AZN under Balk. Is he going to spot him? I don't really think so. I think USC is just playing very, very slow-ish. I mean, they are wasting so much time trying to get info, and then they're just picking a site. And here comes the B hit. Here's Hex coming in, pulls out that Deagle instead of the op this time into the site. Throwing fire. Oh, and Hex, a beautiful Hex shot, opening it up onto Kirby. And this is a whole different USC team that we've seen.
One dig was very, very nice coming out of him. So we have C-Dub and Ricky, the last two left alive. But there's Hex again, leading the way. It's his third, actually, for the round. So now it's just down to C-Dub. And I like the save here. I mean, you're down so many rounds, but what's the likelihood of you taking B bomb site out of either one of the bomb sites? Obviously, A is a little bit easier to retake, but B, with 4 players left alive, there's just no way. Save the op. Work that op somewhere else on the map. Hopefully get an opening pick next round, but they're going to have that max money bonus once again. The scary part is they're going to have 10 rounds on T side. I don't know what they can do really to move this back. It looks like this might be a map 3, but who knows? Maybe SJSU has some nutty, insane strats on their T side, and they'll look just as good. You have to have that mentality of, they've done it to us, we can do it to them, and maybe they can bring things back. But USC, they are on point hitting their shots.
Yeah, it's almost like after that last map they said, you know what, guys? We know Mirage, and I don't know if they know Mirage better, but maybe they're thinking, we know Mirage better. All we have to do is make this work. Here's Hex going for this opening frag here. Mid, but nobody's going to peek. They're actually going to save for the last round. You know, actually interesting stuff to do that, because if you save for the last round, you're pretty much giving this round up almost. And you do have AZN with that off, which is kind of confusing to me why they would do that. But nonetheless, they must have something in mind that I don't. And they are going to be down in a 4v5 here. And hey, no, this is just frustrating for them, as, you know, they were able to win the pistol. And this is almost identical to what we saw on Cash.
Absolutely.
Except
win the pistol and then get, yeah, win the pistol and then lose either the second or the third round and pretty much lose out from there. But I think you're right. C-Dub, I would like to see him get a little bit more aggressive or give the op to whoever had the better spawn to go pick something rather than sitting back with the op. You need to take the battle to them. You can't really let them move into you when you have pistols and you have an op in your hands. You need to take the battle to them, pick somewhere on the map that you can get aggressive, get the kill, grab that AK out of them. C-Dub watches one person goes by, gets a kill into Hex. Magnus with just a USP doesn't quite get anything at all. Let's see if they can get the bomb down here. It is a 2v4. Maybe fall back here. No, he's going for it. 2v3 situation now. C-Dub getting a second frag of the round.
Oh, ISO missing that frag there. AZN coming up big at this point. He's got to go even more. He's got 4. Can he get the ace here? On to ISO. This is going to be...
There. That was insane.
I think that's actually what they're kind of doing here. They're going to have a double op set up for the CTs, a double op set up for the Ts in this last round, and SJSU is leading this round more than ever. But Hex rips AZN's head off there, so that's the mid-contention.
I'm not trying to be mean, but step back, baby. Like, let's see Dub grab the hop and go work mid. He was just hitting some nutty shots there. That was insane.
I think that's actually what they're kind of doing here. They're going to have a double op set up for the CTs, a double op set up for the Ts in this last round, and SJSU is leading this round more than ever. But Hex rips AZN's head off there, so that's the mid-contention that they were trying to do. But Hex just, again, too strong at mid in this half. Right now, 15-7, playing out of his mind. And Kirby has to be careful if he wants to peek this. He's got Maki, and he's got Hex, and Siren, excuse me, ready for it. But a nice job holding the angle by Kirby there. He's going to get one and fall back, it looks like. That's good to see from SJSU, as they really haven't had anything going for them. It almost looks like they don't know what they're doing as far as how they're supposed to handle them. You know, I don't say that as in like these individual players don't know what they're doing, because that's not true. But what I'm saying is that as far as like how to play CT on this map, they seem a little bit shaky.
Absolutely. And I would almost assume that the way this has been playing out is SJSU picked Cash and USC picked Mirage. I think that would be safe to say. So it feels like, you know, USC looks really, really comfortable on their T side on this map. And SJSU just not so much on their CT side. Holding mid has been a huge problem for them thus far. And if you can't figure it out midway through the half, then you're going to have huge problems. But that's why we have a best of 3, right?
Absolutely. So excited to see best of 3s here, but here comes the terrorists. They're coming in here hot and heavy. ISO getting a 5-7 frag, fouls it up with an op, and it's down to Ricky, Shaw, and Antoine to save this half and get 4 rounds. They're going to have a tall task ahead of them. It shouldn't happen with all these terrorists here, but can they do something? And it looks like Ricky's going to fall. It's down to Antoine on a 1v4. This would be the heartbreak of this best of 3 if he's able to do this. And he jumps across looking for the op frag. Not going to happen. 12-3 the scoreline. USC is going to take this first half in absolutely dominant fashion. I mean, it was a slaughter. You know, SJSU just got slaughtered in that first half.
Right, there's not much to say about it, really. There's some times where you can say if they tweaked this a little bit, they could have done it this way. But I think it really came down to exactly what you said. It's just mid-control. And the fact that Antoine didn't have an op a whole lot of the time because they were pretty broke. And then the times that he did have an op, there was just a few bare misses that he just almost had but didn't quite get. And then that can cost you almost the half sometimes. And if you don't adjust and you don't push other ends of the map, that's what's going to cost you 12 rounds on CT side. So who knows, maybe USC will lose the end of the half. 16-12, anybody want to take that bet? 16-12 chat? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, nobody wants to take it. But CT side, we do have a kit. We have a smoke, a nade, and a flash from Maki. I assume he's going to be taking B. He's A. CT side, not buying any utility for a B rush, but they're not rushing B anyway, so it's going to pan out for him.
So SJSU not taking the play out of the USC playbook on that B rush that didn't work for them, but they were able to win this half 12-3, and here it comes down to SJSU opening this up there, but they really gave up A control there. They're playing retake, it appears, and Hex has to hit these shots. He's not hitting them at jungle. The reload is heard by Kirby. Kirby's going to get that frag, so SJSU getting some things done there. 2-for-1 trade coming into the site. Chaos ensuing. It's a 3v3 now. Magnus planting the bomb. As I say that, so many people are dying. They got to be careful here. It's planted for CT, and they don't have CT. There's ISO coming in here. Magnus going down. USC, can they win this pistol round? It's against AZN. The defuse coming in here. What is happening? And he wins the round. AZN comes in. Absolutely magnificent and wins it. What, I mean, jumping around there, that was awesome. Fantastic. That was a fun round to watch there at the end.
Siren's been hitting some insane shots, like important frags, impact frags. Now, not for sure they were going to pick up the pistol round because of him, but couldn't quite land the shot on the last guy. But the 3 prior to that were beautiful headshots, man. This guy's impressing me with his aim for sure. CTs, they're going to buy Scout, a few sets of armor, a couple Deegs. The old CZ. T side, though, they got 1 AK to work towards mid, I would assume. Let's see where Kirby's at. That's exactly where he is. He is towards mid for that long-range battle. SMGs on the rest of the players. Next, taking down Kirby with the scout. This is... Me and my team were trying to figure out, like, do we stay away from mid? Because there's so many angles that a scout can just tag you from. Just tag. And if you don't take things quickly mid, and you get tagged down, say 2 or 3 of your players get tagged by a scout, you almost lose the round. It's so hard to take mid control on an anti-eco, because if you run into that scout or even get flashed from all 3 of the angles that you can get peeked from, it's very dangerous. And then Hex showing off his scout skills. Ricky taking out Siren in the process, giving his team the 4v4, once again evening things up.
Oh, but Hex here with this scout. We've seen how dangerous he is. Is he going to be able to find Ace? He does see him, and he does hit him. He doesn't take his head off. I think it was right under his chin there, so he does take a punch there, and going to go down a little bit of health. And the CTs here, ISO playing at B. They've got a 2-1-2 setup, I would say, as they're playing this carefully. But here comes the smoke, and this is when Maki used to say, guys, I think there's a train coming in. Be careful about this. Maki needs to. They need to call this here, and they need to be able to work this out now. But the grenade's coming in, forcing people back. Maki needs to hit a frag, and he needs to hit it now. But Hex says, nope, I'll do it for you. So he does it. Maki's going to fall back. And Kang here coming with his Deagle. Crossfire setup, and now it's to a 2v2. Magnus and Ricky. Ricky gets the bomb down. They're in shambles. It's all down to Magnus here with this MP7. We've seen him clutch before in this best of 3. Can he do it? He gets flashed out, and he hits ISO, and he hits King. I'm lost for words. I couldn't even get my thoughts straight.
there's no way.
Wow.
Dude, I was like, there's no way he's winning that. Like 2 players, he has 17 HP. They're just gonna push him, and he just nails the shots, man. Just absolutely nails the shots with that SMG. He picks the AK at the end. That was beautiful.
NA, this is the new meme. NA Collegiate CS.
Collegiate
wow.
CS.
I mean, this is fantastic.
The whole time in my mind, I was like, wow, this is the exact map that we just saw in Cash, right? Like they win pistol and then they get E-code and they're gonna lose out. It's gonna be the same thing. But no, he comes up huge and takes it around for his boys. Like that was insane. CTs are gonna have a couple 250s. And that's about it.
Here comes the B train. I like how they're going together, and this is what I talked about. USC didn't do. There they go. Ricky Shaw getting there and making things work. Hex with one of his own, so that's good to see. But now they got to be careful here because these CTs are hungry, and they're burning alive inside a market as well with nades and fire. It's just a nightmare for them. But they're going to have to come in here. They are up 12-5, possibly 12-6 if SJSU can win this round. I think they're just waiting for SJSU to give them an opening. But yeah, very interesting point there, and you know, it's really, you know, on a side note to all of this, it's really good to see collegiate CS. You know, as somebody who, you know, who's working on their master's degree, and I should be done, man, I also teach college as well. There's Kang getting some things done, but not going to get the kill. I mean, as somebody who, you know, and myself who teaches college, and as well as is going to college, still getting their master's degree, I love to see collegiate CS. I love to see what these guys are doing, and they're working hard to make this tournament happen. I mean, it's fantastic to see. So I think we need to give a lot of respect to all these college teams that are in this tournament, regardless of the outcome, because it's great to see college really embracing the esports scene as not necessarily as an off thing, but as a thing that's in, and I think it's fantastic. So SJSU wins the round, and they're up 6-12 here. You know, and what do they need to be doing here? Do they need to keep working on mid? I mean, what's the memo?
You just need to play slow still. You need to make sure that you get as much guns and money down as possible for USC. You have them in a scenario where if they win this round with 1 player left alive, that's not a bad thing, right? Like SJSU obviously wants to win the round, but if they lose the round with 1 player, then they can still keep the money low and then progress and keep chipping away slowly. So as long as they can keep the money down for the CTs and not die and let the CTs win this round with 4 players left alive, I think they can probably chip away to the point where they can still win a lot of rounds on their T side. But I don't know, I'm just happy that you brought that up, is that like college players, they have something to do, they have something to look forward to, you know, wake up and be like, you know, I got a match tonight, you know, I'm excited, I'm not going to go out drinking, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a good to see the scene progress. And look at ISO taking down Antoine. This is what I was talking about, the CTs, they want to win this round with 4 or 5 players left alive to save as much money as possible, so they don't run into the scenario that SJSU ran into last, you know, on their CT side, is that they didn't have any money to play with. So Magnus and Ricky, last 2 left alive, and they have 5 CTs to take down before they can win this round.
USC looking pretty strong right now at this point in this round. Is they're going to have Siren find enough frag with a headshot minute 4, and all ISO needs to do is just chill. Just chill. It's going to happen. It's out of a 1v5 for Ricky, and I know he has good aim. It's going to be hard for him to be able to even do anything, but he does have some players down. And I think at this point, he's going to pick up the op, and he has to be concerned about a flank coming in, because Kang Durfee is like, hey guys, guess what? I got his flank. If he comes out, I give him a hug. Can Kang do it on this flank? So the round's over. Goes for it, gets it. No money for him. He's going to lose the op as well.
That is absolutely huge. Should not get any money at all for that round. I mean, it's not... I mean, we say it's huge, right? Because he could have fought and maybe snagged an op or snagged a rifle, but at the same time his teammates are pretty low on money too, so I guess it's not that impactful. I think the most impactful thing about that is that the CTs had 5 players left alive at the end of the round, so they're going to be able to save some money. They can have a little bit of wiggle room. T-side can't just keep, you know, letting them win around and then, you know, hard reset them over and over and over again. But here's a fast track coming towards the bomb site.
I like how Kang played this. He throws a grenade in the fire, doesn't get a kill, but he does do enough to be able to stop these terrorists from coming in. Ricky coming with a P250 frag of his own. Nice work. It's down to Magnus in a 1v3. We've seen him do 1v2s, but this would be a whole new level of crazy. He does have armor, and P250 goes down. So 14-6 the score line coming in for USC, and this has got SJSU in a bad spot. And they were able to win pistol. They won both the pistols on this map. 16-6. They could fall here, because if they lose this round, they're going to have to totally force buy into the next. And that's going to put them in a severe disadvantage. Yeah.
Absolutely. With what you said, you tack on how much money they're going to get to force with $0, $0, $50, and only 350 bucks. So you are 100% right, my man. They need to win this round if they want any sort of a comeback to happen. See what the CTs do to take mid control, though. So we saw them take mid control on their T side quite often. Let's see how they decide to be on the other end of it. Let's see how they can actually hold mid on their CT side.
Yeah, good to see here. USC up 14-6, and they could force a map 3 of Inferno. And I really have no idea what's going to happen on that map, but we've seen some fun back and forth games here. USC making it a little bit more convincing here with those 2 frags early. Make that 3. Hex, again, a frag of his own. Hex being beast mode, 23 and 10 right now. Next on the list, for frags at least, is ISO with 17. But it's down to Magnus in a 1v5. Magnus, although we've seen some insane stuff to the point where I couldn't even speak during the 1v2s. He is going to be a tall task ahead of him. And just make sure that everybody is aware. You guys give us a follow, HenoCS, at AwesomeSauceJTV, as well as check out BountyArena.com. Okay, use the code AVG to get $2 free instantly to play with. And also make sure to follow this Twitch channel, twitch.tv/AVGL. This $5,000 Collegiate CSGO Championship upper bracket semis right now is possibly going to a map 3. It's going to depend on if SJSU can win 9 rounds in a row after they lose this one. And I think that's going to be a tall task for them. But Maki, here comes the duel. Maki coming in flash, trying to find a way. Not going to happen. Magnus gets the kill. And Heno, he should be able to survive this round.
Yeah, he'll keep that AK. He'll keep all that utility. He'll keep that armor. He won't get any money, but I think that's perfectly fine because he has the very, very large chunk of utility as well as a gun. T side, though, like you mentioned, $2,400. That's all they get to play with. So we're going to have probably just 1 rifle. Maybe Antoine picks up an AK. Let's see what he's going to do. Maybe he picks up... Nope, he's going to pick up the pistol and head armor. I like that decision. So, maybe we're going to see the map 3, which I believe is Inferno. But let's not count them out yet.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We've seen some insane stuff at all levels of CS.
LG versus Liquid.
Oh, absolutely. LG versus Liquid. And here it comes here. Here comes the total move for the map to stay in it. But look at that. He threw a fire actually as a fake flash. It didn't do anything through the smoke, but King comes through, gets one. Oh, and there's C-Dub coming in through the smoke. He is going to drop and try to make something happen here. Magnus a frag. Bomb going down. It looks like it's going to go down. Good job there from Magnus and another frag. He's got 3. Can he get 4? ISO in a 1v2. I'm losing my mind right now. Magnus making me believe things could happen. Magnus and AZN here, you know, and this is going to be huge. Magnus in a spot. He's playing for the CT player to peek. ISO getting up there, spotting one, but he didn't hit him, and he has to spot the other one, and he has to do it quick. AZN peeking it, and Deagle spray, and he hits the shot after whiffing the first 2, and they're going to win the round. So just when I said it might be all over, Magnus and AZN changed my mind.
I thought that trade transfer was going to happen. I was like, oh, that trade transfer, that's, it didn't happen. It's like, there's the end of it, but it wasn't. So you're right. Magnus picking up 3 kills, not taking a point of damage. He ended up picking up the end of the round. Magnus does get taken down at the end, but his buddy C-Dub there with the trade frag. But CT's 2 ops. Ricky Shaw taking down Hex, who had an op. That's the AK versus op duel he's looking for, and he says, I can aim, bud. Let's do this thing. So 4v5 now. Ricky Shaw gets had in 73 HP. Smoking window off. This is good. Play it slow. Look at Kirby sneaking into the A-bomb site with just a deagle, but a little bit too aggressive as Siren and Kang get frags of their own. Now a 4v3 scenario with Siren down to 12 HP. T-side is pretty split up though. We have 2 people towards the B-bomb site, 1 person in halls. How is this going to progress?
But Hano here, you look at this. The CTs are up 4v3. They do have a couple guys that don't have a lot of health. Antoine, I believe that smoke is going to land inside of window. And it actually missed, but that's not the end of the world here, as that does keep maybe Siren aware of what's going on. But ISO's covering the cross. If the terrorists can get by ISO with this op, if they can find a way to get into the site, the fake might happen. And AZN fighting, he does get that frag, and now the terrorists, they have to decide. Do we want to go ahead and take A because we have somebody there, or are we going to try to see if this rotate comes in? AZN is going to have to fight. He goes down, and now USC knows This is not good. Now they know what's going on here. USC in a 3v2 situation there. Antoine alone. 1v2 for the map. Goes down. 16-7 your score. We're going to Inferno, ladies and gentlemen, here. The first time an AVGL in this bracket that we have seen it go to 3 maps, and you are seeing it in fashion. First map, 16-5. USC gets slaughtered. Then this map, 16-7. USC slaughters SJSU. Maybe not slaughters, maybe, 6. I think 16-6 kind of the cutoff for a slaughter. So not slaughtered, but did a really good job against them. And so that's really just the end of that. But, just your thoughts about, kind of what happened there, with USC stepping it up.
USC, you're right, did step it up. They had to. And I thought for sure SJSU was just going to, mop the floor with them, 16-5. The first map, I was like, well, they out-aimed them. They outstratted them. There was nothing USC did at all. And then USC was like, we're better at Mirage. Let's see what we can do. They picked up huge frags. Hex showing that he can aim. And it was just, 2 different teams that we saw. USC, waking up maybe into the second map, and now they can aim again. I don't know, it was pretty insane. USC looking good. And this last map is going to be extremely interesting. I thought this was going to be a quick 2-0. That is not the case. This is map 3 on Inferno. I'm liking it so far.
We're going to go ahead and head to a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to the third map, ladies and gentlemen. It's Inferno. We'll be right back. You're watching the AVGL Collegiate $5,000 semifinal upper bracket. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.